Sometimes I have to stop what I'm doing to reflect on thoughts of my life's trajectory, like where I've been and where I'm going. Is my life and everyone's lives just a reflection of our thoughts? Or could the course of our lives be an inspiration from an unknown source? We all have had outwardly influences in life, family, friends, teachers, and circumstances that have shaped our lives into what we are today. But is that all it is? Are our lives a creation of our thoughts, influences, and circumstances? Do we create our own plan of action? Is it all by design or something else? More importantly, do our brains bring rise to our consciousness by utilizing its chemical electrical capability? Universal Observer with Doug Vitello. Scientists admit that the problem of consciousness is that it is unobservable. Our brains, we house the conscious, subconscious, and unconscious mind. Simply put, the conscious mind is the awareness of yourself and the world around you, containing thoughts, feelings, and what we are aware of at any given moment. The subconscious mind is a reservoir of feelings, thoughts, urges, and memories that are outside of our conscious awareness. Most of the contents of the subconscious are unacceptable or unpleasant, such as feelings of pain, anxiety, or conflict. The unconscious mind stores all repressed thoughts and feelings in the deep recesses of our past and memories. These thoughts and feelings can manifest in both everyday and unexpected situations, often caused by a trigger. Is the mind running the show? Are our thoughts coming directly from our mind? Or are we tapping into something else that the brain is able to manifest into our thoughts? What about that inner voice, intuition, or feelings of a hunch telling us to go or no go? Is there a right choice? Where is that coming from? What exactly is intuition? Intuition is the ability to know something without analytic reasoning, bridging the gap between the conscious and the non-conscious parts of the mind. Scientists believe intuition operates through the entire right side of the brain and through our gut or digestive system, which has neurons as well. Having a gut feeling is when chemical messengers in your gut fire up and you feel butterflies or queasy sensations. Scientists now have shown that our gut has a brain of its own. In fact, our gut has an entire network of neurotransmitters called the enteric nervous system. How important is intuition? Well, the U.S. Office of Navy Research is interested and is currently developing methods of working with intuition on the battlefield, hoping to give soldiers an added edge in combat situations. Intuition is always learning, and through it occasionally sends a signal that turns out to be less than urgent. Everything it communicates is meaningful. Unlike worry, it won't waste your time. Neuroscience tells us the source of intuition is in the limbic system. Some scientists call this part of the lower brain a transmitter to God because of its center of intuition. In other words, if we were able to believe in the existence of human spirit, this is the part of the brain that would likely connect to spirit. Science is still trying to figure out how intuition works in relation to our consciousness and subconscious mind. To some scientists, learning about brain functions and its spiritual capability to connect to our minds with qualities that are neither corporeal nor scientific is worthy of more study. Nikola Tesla once said, "My brain is only a receiver in the universe. There is a core from which we obtain knowledge, strength, and inspiration. I haven't penetrated the secrets of this core, but I know it exists." Some scientists now suggest that our brains may be like a radio receiver for the consciousness signal, so to speak. If this is true, what, where, or who is the transmitter sending this signal? This model is being studied because it frees us up to the assumption that our direct experience must be either located inside our brains or completely disembodied and metaphysical. If our consciousness is only just an electrical and chemical process that produces this process, then the atheists are right. There is nothing beyond our brain. In the current approach to consciousness, as one neuroscientist put it, no one has any idea of what consciousness is. But could our daily lives unfold through a consciousness that does not originate in our mind, like Nikola Tesla stated? If some neuroscientists are now focusing on neuroconsciousness or consciousness as a possible spiritual metaphysical exchange, one would have to conclude that the brain could be a type of antenna receiver, connecting to a ethereal, non-physical realm of energy that very well may be producing our daily awareness of thoughts, ideas, and hunches. What if consciousness is spread throughout the universe, or the multiverse? Panpsychism is a well-known theory that says everything has a level of consciousness.
I'm Rupert Sheldrake. I'm a biologist, and I'm the author of several books, including Ways to Go Beyond and Why They Work, the most recent one. I'm also interested in a range of spiritual practices because I do them myself. And I lived in India for 7 years. And so I've learned a lot when I was there of different kinds of practices. There's a growing movement, for example, in philosophy of mind, of panpsychism, the idea that there's a kind of mind or consciousness throughout nature. We don't just live in a dead, inanimate, mechanistic universe, that nature's more like an organism than a machine. And so there are many people in the scientific world who actually want this kind of change to happen. I'm not the only person advocating it. I may be one of the ones who's more in the public eye than others, and it's partly because I've got nothing to lose. I say what I think, whereas the scientific world is full of people who are kind of closet supporters of a change towards a more animistic or panpsychist view of nature, a more holistic approach to science.
Everything from the smallest quantum particle to a star. A paper recently written, Quantum Physics and the Consciousness, A Strong Defense for Panpsychism, by Carlos Maldonado, professor of School of Medicine, Bogota. The theory states that the universe is conscious and alive simply because consciousness and reality are entangled, which therefore means that one does not exist without the other. Quantum science shows that quantum phenomena rely on superpositions. In other words, the possibilities of the position of particles at any given time. Simply put, superposition is the ability of a quantum particle, such as an electron, to be in multiple states at the same time, either a particle or a wave, until it is measured or observed. In the framework of the quantum world, all possibilities are real, and entities or life can exist on the most fundamental level. In the world of metaphysics, there is something that is known as the 7 densities of consciousness. This theory says that consciousness has 7 levels of being. The first density consciousness would be considered organic or inorganic matter. An atom or a molecule, including the earth, air, fire, water, and so on. First density consciousness exists all around us. The second density consciousness has the ability to move and grow by itself. It is aware of portions of itself and is able to respond to its environment. For example, if you record a plant in the sunshine and play it back super quick, you will see the plant move to follow the sun. The latter stages of the second density includes pets. Pets begin to develop self-awareness through their interaction with humans. The third density is self-awareness. As we humans have the ability to make educated choices in life and are fully self-aware. In the fourth density, communication among humans will become more telepathic. The fifth density, beings are able to spend much more time alone to learn great wisdom. The fifth density exists outside of time and space, and so beings are able to teleport and instantly manifest. The sixth density is also where your higher self resides, and maybe where our consciousness transmits down from. It's hard for us as humans living in this linear time to understand this, but your higher self is essentially you from the far distant future. Your higher self progresses further through the densities by providing every incarnation it has experienced with guidance. In the seventh density of consciousness, beings begin to merge back into the Source or God. They lose their separate identity and memories and gain infinite amounts of knowledge that we as humans could not even imagine. If consciousness really does possess all these layers of reality and seemingly prevails throughout the universe, one could surmise that our thoughts, feelings, and choices are possibly transmitted to us from another source. Our brains, with all its complexity, for a multitude of tasks, may bring rise to our thoughts and feelings like an electrical chemical receiver antenna, granting us our consciousness. Is it possible that a cosmic consciousness directed the Big Bang to create the universe? This can't be ruled out. But in addition to this, there is no evidence that anything after the Big Bang, which created our universe, has been under conscious control. In effect, everything after the Big Bang can be explained within the laws of physics as we understand it, and these laws do not need a consciousness to be carried out. So what can explain the fine-tuning of the universe? Such as the gravitational constant being what it is, so precise, and other laws like entropy, gravity, and having a magnitude such that the galaxies can form out of stars, planets can form from leftovers of stars. A complex molecule can form from these planets, whose interactions over time lead to intelligent beings with a consciousness as the end result. In the final analysis, are we just all a random sequential physical process? Or is it by design from some cosmic consciousness that has permeated our universe since the beginning of time